See if we can. Let's speak to more people on the ground here. The Black Star is packed with people. We had a difficult time even with accreditation. Arriving here on the ground. But the security personnel here have it all covered. There are different layers of security.
And this is our special coverage, and you heard our presidential affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba there interacting with some clergy and some persons who have already gathered there. And as we speak in your shots, you see the president, outgoing president Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, arriving with the outgoing first lady as well. It looks like we'll be seeing a lot of outgoing this morning. And of course, already we are told that the vice president-elect, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has already arrived as well. And now we are waiting for the arrival of President-elect John Dramani Mahama. And I must say that we have 21 heads of state gathered there at the Black Star Square. We have 3 vice presidents, and we are told we have 4 ministers who are representing their countries, and then 24 envoys all gathered there together with members of parliament, now 275, right? Because we don't have Ablekuma North, because there was no decision taking on that. So 275 MPs. It's a parliamentary session, we should say, just that it's being done outside the chamber of parliament. This is the 9th parliament now since they were sworn in at the dawn of midnight today. So this is where we are today at the Black Star Square, Kojo. You've been interacting a lot this morning ahead of this particular inauguration. There's history that has been made. We have a former president coming back to swear this particular oath once again.
Yeah, and it seems that the whole world is cognizant of the history being made in Ghana this morning. You could tell from the number of foreign presidents who have touched down. Several private aircraft landed at the Kotoka International Airport over the past 24 hours.
To track private jets and airlines.
Someone's got to keep their eye on the sky.
Of course.
And listen, let me tell you, today is a holiday, so many parts of Accra are deserted. But the area in and around the Black Star Square is busier than a Turkish bazaar. Cars back to back, nose to nose. People cannot move. Look, if you had any plans of being there and you are not there yet, just stay and watch us on Joy News.
Especially when some roads have been closed.
Absolutely.
The AU roundabout, we know, has been closed. Some parts in Osu as well. That's the Osu to Parliament House that has been closed. The AU roundabout has been closed, and any access road to Parliament area, also from EC to the middle of Parliament, they've all been closed. And security area at Parliament House also closed, and road from the Osu Cemetery to Parliament. So if you don't have accreditation or you don't have access pass, you would not be able to use. Don't even try going to that part of town. And you can see party supporters with their flags, the Ghana flag. At least I can identify some of the members of the NDC there. You can see Joshua Alabi there, the chairman of the campaign team, in your shots there. Already, we know that there have been some appointments that have been made already. I can see Hudu Yaya. Really, it's good to see Hudu Yaya there in your shot. You see Doa Jaho, the former Speaker of Parliament, also in your shot there, all in white. There's, the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Avikwete, also seated there by Joshua Alabi. I can see the former chairman of the NDC, Ampofo, also there. You can see Kofi Potofe also there in your shot. Kofi Ato also there in your shot. All of them in white.
And the VIPs keep arriving one after another.
Yes.
It's going to be a very, very full day. They've got quite a program which we'll run you through in just a moment, tell you how the whole day is expected to go, but lots of dignitaries still arriving to make this the August occasion is supposed to be. The police are in full force. Yesterday, I had a conversation with the IGP, and he was talking about the mobilization that was necessary for such a big event. It only happens once every 4 years, or in this case, the way the government is changing.
Do this until February 1st. On January 6th, we're starting a 4-week chair workout challenge for beginners over 50. Here's a personalized plan of 7-minute chair workouts designed just for men over 50. Do this to get a flat belly, ease pain, and strengthen your joints. It's beginner-friendly, simple, safe, and requires no equipment. All you have to do is open the app and follow along.
Hey, this is Dio with Pohanka Honda Chantilly. Let me show you the Honda Prologue 2024 Touring. Starting off, you get these giant LED lights with the auto high beams, these two-tone alloy wheels, which are 19 inches. Charging port is right here. And then when you come to the back, you get your Prologue Touring Honda logos, as well as your power tailgate. Moving into the interior.
Inner perimeters and who can go there and who cannot go, access given, and party supporters are supposed to be seated at the back where the green, the red, gold, green and the carpet is. That's the inner perimeter where it's a no-go area, where we're having the president, the vice president, members of parliament all seated, and then behind them we have party supporters all seated. And it does appear that everything is duly coordinated properly, and we are just moments away from the big event, which is the inauguration. And I know that you're particularly excited about Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman being sworn in today. And in your shot, you can see Valerie Sawyer and Archbishop Duncan Williams also there. You know already there have been appointments that have been made, and Valerie Sawyer has made the list of the first list of appointments already. We'll be going through all that for you.
I can do that for you now, actually, MFA.
Yes, you can see foreign dignitaries also in your shot already, and still arriving are, vice presidents, presidents, and envoys who are all arriving for this big day. And you're going through the lists?
Absolutely. So we got to notice of the president's initial appointments for the office of the president. These people needed to be in place before today's event because their work begins immediately.
Exactly.
Of course, we saw Julius Deborah returning as chief of staff.
Was that surprising, though?
Not to me.
Everybody expecting.
Yeah, not to me. I mean, you have to remember, Julius Deborah actually had an exemplary record as chief of staff. We've had some great chiefs of staff throughout the history of Ghana, but Julius Deborah in particular had this ability to work well with people, which really helped him to manage all the appointees of the president in a way that was productive and constructive. People felt able to bring their problems to him. He was a problem solver, he was pragmatic, and the president certainly intends to have that level of cooperation.
Even out of office, he was still managing his office.
So he's back as chief of staff. Nobody is surprised. Dr. Callistus Mahama takes up the position of executive secretary to the president. Now, historically, the NDC presidents don't tend to have executive secretaries. This is the first time we're seeing that. And it speaks to a certain desire to run the administration differently by John Dramani Mahama. This time around... relation,
though. We've been told that Dr. Callistus Mahama
is not related
in any way to John Dramani Mahama.
Indeed. Prosper Bani returns, but what an interesting portfolio. Prosper Bani is now going to be the head of Interim Security Task Force.
And you know there were a number of them that were mentioned earlier. That was the very first appointments that was made. That would included COP Kofi Boakye, Tutobi Kwachi, amongst others who were, and Prosper Bani was leading that particular team. So that's where we know that he's the head of Interim Security Task Force.
Now, if I can take you back to when Nana Akufo-Addo was sworn in, his first appointment was National Security Minister.
Which is very key. It's very key.
So it tells you that during the transition, a lot of the briefings about security tend to be the ones that capture the attention of the incoming president the most, because those are the life and death issues. Everything else is politics, you know, but security is security. So immediately you can see John Dramani Mahama putting that foot forward and ensuring that he's got a team in place that can deal with issues as and when they arise. And Prosper Bani is the one.
Some have said it's a crack team. You have Bevlo Latte in there, if you have Totobi Kwache, you have generals of the military, amongst others, all in there. It tells you how seriously they're taking security.
Indeed, indeed. Then we move on to a senior presidential advisor for governmental affairs, and that is Valerie Sawyer.
And she was a former deputy chief of staff.
Correct.
And
she knows her way around Jubilee House.
We must brief the audience that at least if you're on radio, as we speak, we have the arrival of the judiciary. And of course, we know that the Chief Justice is going to be the one to administer the oath, and we have them arriving now. We've already had the arrival of the outgoing president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now we have the arrival of the judiciary, led by the Chief Justice herself.
To be fair, when we say judiciary, we actually mean the Chief Justice and some members of the Supreme Court.
Some members of the Supreme Court, of course.
And don't you feel sorry for them? They are fully bedecked in their robes, and these robes are not made of linen.
Thankfully, it's
some
not
very
such a hot,
thick fabric.
It's not such a hot day.
Oh, such a hot day. Temperatures out there reaching 33 degrees.
33.
Yes, and we've got judges.
Should be manageable. They are used to this. It should be very manageable, because we've talked about this wigs and all, but they say that it is part of the tradition, it's part of the custom. As to when we are able to get rid of it, at least it's ceremonial.
Every Chief Justice so far in the Fourth Republic has insisted on keeping this tradition of the wigs and the robes. Every single one of them. They all believe in it. And this Chief Justice is no exception. The problem, however, is that they don't tend to sit in the sun. They tend to sit in air-conditioned courtrooms. Today is an exception. These are people who are quite advanced in age, some of them.
We have open air conditions amongst others.
Well, let's hope that they've provided for these.
They are coolers, so I'm sure that they'll be fine.
Because even this walk through the sun to their seats
and it looks
must
like it's
be
a
quite
very
difficult for them.
choreographed walk all the way to where they're supposed to sit from the arrival. You can see that straight line. It does appear that this has been well rehearsed.
They do hold extensive rehearsals before the event. And of course, these are things that happen once every 4 years. And so there is a protocol in place already for how these things are to be done.
We're
so the
seeing
rehearsal
another
shouldn't
arrival.
take too long.
We're seeing another arrival. Is that the president-elect? It does look like. We'll get a close-up shot of that and see. But maybe, no, it doesn't look like that's him. It looks like it's another president arriving from another country. But we see 3 vehicles, and it does look like a number of security
3 vehicles
men.
and an ambulance, it looks like.
Well,
so we're keeping an eye on who that is. We'll let you know as soon as they disembark from the vehicle. The diplomatic corps is in full force. We can see some Middle Eastern diplomats sitting pretty and waiting patiently for the events to start unfolding at the Black Star Square. If you're listening to us live on Joy, listen, we're going to give you blow by blow every single account of what's happening on this historic day in the center of Accra at the Black Star Square as one era gives in to another. In a few moments, we will be referring to President Akufo-Addo as the former president, and we will be referring to President-elect John Dramani Mahama as the president of the Republic of Ghana. We'll hear his inaugural speech. Those of you who have got your pens and papers ready.
Fact-checking and
indeed.
Checking for
plagiarism.
speech and all that. I doubt that is going to happen.
Yes,
but, well,
this is one time when I really hope to be disappointed.
Yes,
we don't want any plagiarism
definitely will be.
at all. But of course, they've had a lot of time to work on these speeches. The President Mahama will certainly want this to be an opportunity to clearly outline the vision that he has, and he has very little time to execute it.
Some have said this should be a very reconciliatory speech, a speech that will bring the entire country, rally the entire country around this particular government, especially because he has just 4 years to go, and he says he's going to reset the nation, and he needs everyone on board to be able to actually do that, this particular reset. So we wait for that particular speach. And
there'll be a need for some balance. Because, as you know, there are lots of people who voted on the expectation of justice, you know, and some sort of exposure of those who they believe have pillaged the nation. And so there will be some pressure on the new president to demonstrate effort in that direction. I wonder how much of that we will see or hear in his speech, but there is definitely the expectation of it.
You speak about pressure, and one person that many say there will be a lot of pressure on will be the Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornoo. We know that there was a petition for her removal, but thankfully the outgoing president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has written back to Professor Kwikwaza, as we call him, that is not going to happen. At least these are some of the things that we'll be talking about as we go on. But you can see the minority leader in your shot. The only time that you can safely say he is the minority leader,
well, for the
Alexander
Fenyomaki.
Well, without being corrected, and there's no ambiguity to that. Well, you were taking us through the list. We didn't finish that list. We have Augustus Guzi Tano, also the presidential advisor. This is a former presidential candidate, right? A Reform Party.
Yes, indeed.
And he is the presidential advisor responsible for the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development. It's interesting that you have someone in charge of the 24-hour economy. We know that this was a big campaign promise for the president-elect John Dramani Mahama. And we have Marietta Ajewa-Brew. She was a former Attorney General and made some giant strides whilst she was the Attorney General. She's now the legal counsel to President of Ghana. Is that a new position? Have we seen that before?
Yes, well, actually, this current president has legal counsel as well.
Know.
It's just an appointment that didn't get very publicized. I think his name was Koi Suman. Yes. I mean, his appointment wasn't. There wasn't a lot of pomp and pageantry to it.
But I'm wondering if previously the president-elect John Dramani Mahama, did he have?
I don't recall.
But I know that Tony Letha was his legal counsel. But I don't know if it was at least for the president of Ghana. But at least that's what we know now.
That's what Marietta will be doing.
Yes, and then we have Felix Kwacho. He was here with me on the probe, and I asked him if he was going to be the Information Minister or Communications Minister for that matter, and he was not able to tell. But moments after that, he issued a statement, and he's the acting spokesperson to the president. At least that's the appointment that he has.
This is an interesting appointment because for the first time, the spokesperson to the president will be an MP. Right, so it's interesting to see how he will balance these two roles. Spokesperson
but it's acting. It's acting. It's an acting position.
Yes, but while he's acting,
he's
also
been special aide for the longest for the president-elect. So definitely, this is an acting role. Let's see. Maybe you never know. Maybe he'll be elevated to the substantive ministerial position, and then we'll get the communications director for the presidency. We don't know because we have 60. He's supposed to make 60 appointments, and that includes deputies and substantive ministers. Indeed. So it remains to be seen who makes it to that list. And it does appear that right after the inauguration, we're going to have the appointments just pouring in.
Yes.
He hasn't said he's a man in a hurry, but it does appear that he has to do things in a hurry.
He did say he would have everybody in place as quickly as possible, and you can understand why.
He knows by now, doesn't he? He knows.
Yes, he has a unique experience of having done this before. So he doesn't need to ask questions about, where the bathroom is. He knows his way around, and so he can very quickly.
But he was taking around the Jubilee House yesterday. He says he never lived. No, but he mentioned that he never lived in the presidential villa, and so he needed that tour. It was only Akufo-Addo that lived in that villa, even though that construction was done under Akufo. It's only Akufo-Addo that has been able to stay in the villa, so he needed to be shown around.
Well, yes, true. He used to live in a government building that was designated for the vice president. I think this
is the moment we've been waiting for.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, we see the vehicles arrive. There's a motorcade, obviously, led by dispatch riders, about 8 of them, as they maneuver their way into the premises. You can see the lights blinking on 3 Mercedes-Benz S-classes that are being driven by expertly trained dispatch drivers. They know exactly where to stop. You see the security detail getting out of the vehicles, moving towards the primary vehicle, which contains the VIP. And I think we can all guess who this VIP is. They go over to the doors and prepare to let him out into the sunshine so that he can bask in the glory of the day that has been put together for his honor. The incoming president of the Republic of Ghana has arrived at the venue. And you can see the excitement palpable among the audience. You can see the chiefs of defense staff who are seated in a row in their resplendent uniforms with ribbons and medals all across the front. These are men who have won their reputations on the battlefield, and today they are sitting in honor of their commander-in-chief incoming, who is here to be sworn in as the President of the Republic of Ghana. It's a very auspicious moment. I have no doubt that John Dramani Mahama dreamt, prayed for this day for 8 years, and it is here. What he will do with it is yet to be seen. We have 4 years to discover what he intends to do with it.
And you can see the number plates, OTP, that should be Office of the President.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. So that tells you who it is.
The Speaker has arrived. Yeah, that's the Speaker.
Yes, the Speaker of Parliament arrives, bedecked in the parliamentary gowns, with all of the Adinkra symbols across the chest and shoulder piece, as well as the sleeves. He walks up with his kente, dragon's tail, and of course he's got in front of him the clerks of Parliament, all the important dignitaries who will be presiding over this event, because don't forget...
dragon's tail?
Yes. Okay. You know, that long kente strip that runs down the back of the robe. Best way to describe it is dragon's tail, right?
Trust Kojo.
And it looks exactly like that as he walks up to his seat at the center of the podium. He, of course, will be the presiding officer of today's proceeding.
Because it's a parliamentary proceeding,
it is indeed
technically,
a parliamentary session. So he
Exchanging
goes to
pleasantries
shake hands with the Speaker, a person with whom he has been having quite a public banter over the past few months. But as you can see, there is it's all love as they take their seats and prepare to play their respective roles on this all-important day. I must say, one thing Ghana does with beauty is these public events. The color just seeps through and brings with it all of its festive feel and its traditional pomp and pageantry. You get the feeling that you are looking at something that is uniquely African, but at the same time, just generously universal. Every single bit of today's event has been put together in a way that meets and matches the decorum of such an important occasion. You can see that an important global leader is about to be installed, and it tells in every single detail of this that was put together by, of course, the incoming president's team, who worked in collaboration with some private companies. I know that Jandel Limited played a very important role in organizing this event, alongside Stan Dogbe, who tends to run things like this.
No one does it better than him.
Yeah, for the incoming president.
And that's Bevlo Latte in your shot. You see Totobi Kwache, the security team. They're seated
next
there.
to Totobi Kwache, you can see Seth Tekwe, who's seated right next to him. These are
that's Seydou Agongo.
Yes, indeed.
And earlier, Kojo, you mentioned that we've never had an executive secretary to the president under, the NDC. You remember Raymond Atuguba? I think that was his position, isn't it?
Of course, you're right.
Yes.
You're right. Raymond Atuguba was executive secretary.
It's been a long time. We definitely can't forget. Yes. So
Professor Raymond Atuguba.
Yes. You saw 4 seats earlier on the days when the Speaker was exchanging pleasantries with the Chief Justice, Gertrude Tokono. So we have 2 more seats to fill, and that's for the Vice President-elect, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, and then that huge seat for the President-elect, John Dramani Mahama, whose arrival we're still waiting, and we're expecting. I'm sure the Vice President-elect will come first, and then John Dramani Mahama will follow suit. Already, party supporters are all ready for this particular action, and Maxwell has been interacting with some of them, and of course, some guests as well. See how packed the stands are at the Black Star Square.
Just don't go there if you're not there already. It's just a bad idea. Don't even think about it.
Maybe
just watch us on Joy News instead. We'll give you every moment live in
you get the best
color.
view here.
Absolutely.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
And Kojo is here with the best commentary. Dragon Tail. That's my takeaway. Well.
It'll get worse.
Yeah, I know. I know. And speaking of Speaker Alban Bagbin, really, he now becomes the second number 3 gentleman to actually take that role for the second time after D.F. Anan. Remember, because they've all done it once. Ebenezer Sichi Hughes, Joyce Bamford Ado, Dua Jaho, they've all done this just once. And Speaker Alban Bagbin got that overwhelming support, and he's doing it again for the second time. He promises to do it better. There are those who have said that with the history behind them in terms of the relationship between himself and the President-elect John Dramani Mahama some time ago, some public criticism amongst others. Some have said this is the time for them to put it behind. I heard your engagement with Mamavi earlier about whether this parliament will actually be able to put the executive on its toes. Some have said is the reason they are keeping Alban Bagbin, but as to whether he's able to do it, is the issue I heard you raise earlier.
I mean, if anybody can, it should be him. He has shown in the past that he's capable of towing a central line, or even in some cases standing up to his own party. He's shown that he can do it. If anybody can, it'll be him. And that role has never been more important than it is in this parliament, where they have an overwhelming majority that can do almost anything. Almost anything. So they have the least motivation to check the executive. It's their own president in power. They've come through a period when they were on the struggling end, trying to keep the executive in check, because the executive, of course, came from the opposite party. But this time around, it's their own man in there, and their own man has certainly played a role in choosing the speaker. So there is this question about whether Alban Bagbin has the motivation to be that central line that he was in the past.
Will he be able to do it?
Parliament.
Will he be allowed to do it? Will he be given the free room to do that? We are seeing some V8s with a police vehicle in the middle arriving as we speak.
This will be yet another dignitary. I believe this will be another foreign
president. Should he be the vice president-elect, or is just a foreign dignitary?
I see a foreign flag on one of these vehicles. So I think it's a foreign dignitary that's arriving. I must say, the security provisions for the foreign presidents have been top-notch, each of them with a full security detail and an ambulance to ensure that wherever they are on this planet, their protocols
the IGP gave you
for
that
security,
assurance,
are in place. And they've got several units who have trained for this day, working in unison. I mean, you can imagine the airwaves around Black Star Square crackling with radio signals as communication continues in a seamless manner to ensure that things are done with absolute pinpoint accuracy, because lives depend on it. You know, not that we're expecting some assassins to be lurking in the shadows. This is Ghana. We don't do that. But of course, it's important to provide for all manner of security, because you never know when you'll need it. So today you can see that the police are in full force doing what they do best. Every single police boot shined to perfection, every single uniform pressed and ironed, every single remote and walkie-talkie filled with fresh batteries. Nobody is going to fail on this all-important day.
There'll be no change of battery at any point.
There is not going to be any battery Aziz matters on this all-important.
I've seen before in our short Joyce Bawa Mukhtari, Selassie Ibrahim, and then of course the minority leader Alexander Fenyomaking in that traditional regalia. He's in his kente and white shirt, the Rawlings type, and or the Kwame Nkrumah type, I should say, and then Valerie Sawyer all seated. Jacob Zuma, there in your shot, the former South African president, in your shot. I told you, 21 heads of state and also former heads of state are all here for this particular event. And it's interesting that Jacob Zuma is here, and then we have 3 vice presidents also here. We have more vehicles arriving. This is also a president of another country also arriving again, and it does appear that we'll have all the presidents, visiting presidents and heads of state arrive. Then we'll have the vice president-elect and John Mahama, also the president-elect, arriving for this event to start. It does appear we are still on schedule. We're supposed to start at 11. It's 10:38 and
we're moving steadily. The protocol is that all dignitaries must be seated before the special guest arrives. The special man of the moment, the incoming president, arrives. And we seem to be seeing that happening on schedule. What we are seeing, though, is a doubling up. Normally we would see one dignitary arrive at a time, but we've got them all in a queue now so that they can disembark with speed and get seated so that we can stick to the time, because I believe that we are probably just around, just past the halfway point of the number of foreign presidents, at least, who are attending. But it's not only foreign presidents, we have vice presidents, we have ministers representing foreign leaders, all here today for this important event.
Earlier, you were commending the security arrangement and then, of course, the organizers. I think you're not done with that, because you need to commend the state protocol also and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs team that have also worked so hard to get this going. We're talking about
heavy lifting.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, especially.
What about their batteries? What about their batteries?
Nobody's batteries can die today.
They are concerned about. They've also shined their shoes and pressed everything, and I'm sure the military will also come at you as we speak. That they've also, so you need to acknowledge all of them.
They have also shined their shoes.
Do it for them. Do it for them.
Yes. We said, well, you can see it. I mean, it doesn't even need.
Yeah, that's the chief of staff in your shots.
There you go.
There, Julius Debra, with the team there already. That's the chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedun Ketia, in his white outfit, is a political suit, of course, with the NDC colors somewhere in there as well.
You can see the nerves, and the excitement as he sits comfortably in his seat. He keeps moving his knees. You can see that there's a lot of tension built up. Paul Kagame has made the trip to be here on this auspicious day.
Who is not here?
I wonder. That list will probably be shorter than the list of those who are here.
Yes.
Paul Kagame, of course, you can understand why this is important to a man like Kagame, who has, in many ways, in spite of being a dictator, has handed over a lot of power in his government to Parliament and other institutions and organs. He has a desire to see his nation run in a way that would be sustainable beyond his stay in the high office. And it's an example to the rest of Africa. Of course, let's not dispute the fact that he is indeed a dictator, but he is one.
A lot of people will come at you for that.
Oh no, but it's the reality.
Yes, it is.
It's the reality. But he is somebody who actually does want to see representation.
A friendly dictator.
Yeah, he wants to see representation in his government. He wants to see devolution of power, and that is an example for all other nations. Ghana is no exception. In this particular situation where we have this supermajority in Parliament, it is something to really think about. This is the time when separation of powers will be at its highest risk. It will be most difficult to separate powers with a supermajority in Parliament. But with people like Paul Kagame here, there is a reminder that it is possible. Pun intended.
Power is indeed transient, because you're seeing President Akufo-Addo now receiving guests. He's arrived earlier than he ought to.
Yep.
It's interesting, but we're seeing more arrivals and party supporters hailing someone coming in.
Indeed. And now, at this moment, I think we're seeing the arrival of the incoming president.
Should be the vice president-elect first.
The vice president-elect, thank you
or
for
they
that.
Come together?
Yes. Now, it starts, of course, with a procession.
Yes.
So you will observe that the horses that are supposed to herald the president are all in line behind this particular vehicle that we're observing.
Yes.
And then, of course, you've got the police delegation, 3 motorbikes, following another vehicle. Now, they've gone for the Infinity vehicles following a Mercedes-Benz. I don't know whether this is a suggestion that these will be the vehicles that the president tends to use while he's in office. But we've got one of the most beloved religious leaders, the national imam.
The national chief imam, Sheikh Nuhu Shaributu.
Indeed,
there as
seated
well.
Comfortably awaiting the arrival of the man of the moment. You've got so many people holding Ghana flags. That's another special thing.
Yes.
You're seeing that people are opting for Ghana flags rather than party colors.
I've seen just one party flag so far. But we see a lot of miniature flags there, Ghana flags, and most people in white and waving it. And the MPs are also seated.
It's a positive signal. You see Kofi Adams there, seated between 2 ladies, and there are many other members of Parliament on that particular day. I believe that is the space reserved for them. It's a difficult day to be in the sun, I've got to say. I really feel
And that's the
these,
leadership
officials.
of Parliament. You
Yes,
see
indeed.
Governs Kwame Agbodza. You see Ahiafo, who is now the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, and Andrew Sesiama,
Is
who
that
is the
Frank
second.
Anodompre?
Yes, he's a leader on the side of the minority. Yes,
Okay.
he's there. And you see him
Patrick
with,
Yabuama is
yes,
there
of
as
course,
well.
they are all there. And you see, what you call him, the outgoing education minister, Dr. Yawo Seyeduchum.
That's right.
And we've been told that the majority side are maintaining their leadership as we speak, at least. We don't know if it will change at some point, but it does appear that it will change, because we've been told that Atuforse may be very well maybe the finance minister. And if that happens, it does appear that he would have to relinquish that position of majority leader and hand it over to someone else. Who that will be remains to be seen. We are told about Mahama Yariga, amongst others, but Ama Kofi Boa is also in pole position.
Indeed.
Knowing that speech that he gave after the SONA.
It's one of the things that we're definitely going to be occupied with after today. The speculation about who
about
takes
the appointments,
which position, right?
on one side of the executive, who becomes what in terms of positions. And then, so we're told now that the Vice President-elect, Professor, I think I should allow you to do that, since that's your Vice Chancellor. She's arriving. I am so excited about that we are having the first female Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, and she's arriving, and the Speaker is getting ready
And you know
to
what?
receive him.
You should be excited,
Yes.
in the fact, because this is somebody who has clocked several firsts throughout her career.
Yes.
She did things to prove that they can be done. And after being the first female vice-chancellor of a university here in Ghana, something that really broke the doors open. And since then, there have been several others.
I was hoping to hear you say the best university in Ghana.
But
You can't say that, can you?
Do I need to remind you?
No.
Every single
Best of Ghana says they produce all the presidents in this country.
Every single global chart puts the University of Cape Coast at the very top. It might well be the best in Africa, but let's not go there.
No, please.
She was the first female vice-chancellor of that institution, after which she became first female minister for education, another position during which she clocked several firsts. And now she takes up this all-important and historic position as first ever female vice president of the Republic of Ghana.
Well deserved.
First to be at the very top of the bill at the presidency, sitting right next to the president, deputizing for him whenever he's out of the jurisdiction or unable to carry out his duties. This is huge. And of course, for somebody like Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman to have done it, it just demonstrates for a change that sometimes merit can get you there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not about who you know, it's not about, which...
who you associate with,
it's not
or who
about,
opens the door
it's not
for
about
you.
who you bribe or...
Your hard work gets you there.
Sometimes just by being good at your job,
Yeah.
you can rise to the top.
Yes.
And that is a beautiful example, a story we can all tell our children. It's a thing to be proud of in ways that I cannot even begin to express. And it doesn't matter what you think of her, her politics, her decisions, her character. It doesn't matter. She has done this by doing well.
Yes.
And that is to be respected. And today, everybody who stands up, who claps for her, who salutes her as she takes the oath of office, will be doing that with heartfelt knowledge that they are congratulating someone for a job well done. It's an example I am glad we can point to. And you can see
ceremonial horses.
The horses
are making an entrance,
Indeed.
a grand entrance.
Indeed, the horsemen leading these all-important vehicles that are bringing in the VIPs of the day. Now, these horsemen, another important job, by the way, they train and practice all day to get this right. But we can take you there now so that we can capture the sights and sounds and the feel of this all-important moment in history. Let's go live to the Black Star Square.
The bedlam here is intense. It is intense. There is much joy, happiness, excitement, all in readiness for what we are about to witness.
And security is also in full force. We have various security personnel deployed to ensure the total safety and security of personnel. They are all playing critical roles to ensure that this event goes seamlessly, devoid of any major hitches. We have rich display of culture.
I believe that is...
And that is DSP Mary Agamba. She's in charge of the police mounted squadron.
Invited guests arriving now is the President-elect of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Shall we all wave our flags to welcome him? Distinguished invited guests, arriving now is the President-elect John Dramani Mahama. He is accompanied by his spouse, soon-to-be First Lady, Her Excellency Lordina Dramani Mahama. Shall we all wave our flags to welcome him? Into the Chamber of Parliament here at the Black Star Square. The entourage of Parliament includes the clerks of Parliament and other senior officials of Parliament. We will soon enter the Chamber of Parliament, and so the Speaker of Parliament will shortly take over. Shall we please rise as they process into the chamber? To announce that only accredited photographers and media personnel are allowed at the designated places on the square. Please, if you are not authorized to be on the square, kindly move back.
Honorable members, You may now resume your seats. Honorable members, I now have the singular honor and pleasure to invite Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, to administer the oaths to the President-elect and the Vice President-elect. We will start with the Vice President-elect, who will take and subscribe to the oath of allegiance and the oath of the Vice President. Your Ladyship, the Chief Justice, you may now do so now.
Your Excellency, first the oath of allegiance. Kindly say after me. I,
Professor Nana Jane Oboko Ajiman,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
To the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
As by law established.
As by law established.
That I will uphold.
That I will uphold.
The sovereignty and integrity of Ghana.
The sovereignty and integrity of Ghana.
And that I will preserve.
And that I will preserve.
Protect. And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
Of the Republic of Ghana.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Your Excellency, now the oath of the Vice President. I,
Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman,
having been elected to the office of Vice President of the Republic of Ghana,
to the office of Vice President of the Republic of Ghana,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that I will be faithful.
That I will be faithful
and true
to
the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
That I will at all times.
That I will at all times
preserve,
protect,
and defend
the
Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
The Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
And I dedicate myself to the service and well-being
of
the people of the Republic of Ghana. And to do right. To all manner of persons. I further solemnly swear that should I at any time break this oath of office, I shall submit myself to the laws of the Republic of Ghana, and suffer the penalty for it. So help me God. Congratulations, Madam Vice President.
Thank you.
Lift your
Honorable members, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana shall now sign the oath book.
So that's the Vice President-elect. It's now no longer elect. Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, has just taken the oath of office, oath of allegiance, now subscribing to that oath and appending her signature to it, that oath administered by the Chief Justice of the Republic. As we speak now, we have the first, it's official, we are the first female Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, has just taken that oath and has been sworn in as Vice President of the Republic, looking all beautiful and signing that particular oath that she's just subscribed to. And we are waiting for the next to happen, which will be that of the President-elect John Dramani Mahama, a number of documents to sign for that history to be sealed and made in that process, and that signature still going on. And you can see party supporters already. Is it a prayer that they're saying as she appends her signature to that particular document and that oath that she signed? You're listening to us live on Joy 99.7 FM. Is the inauguration of the President-elect of the Republic of Ghana, and just gone by is that of the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, and that's currently ongoing. She's taking that oath of allegiance and oath of office, now subscribing to that particular oath that she's taking, and a number of documents. You can see that the members of the judiciary are helping her to do that, and the Speaker of Parliament looks on for that to happen, and after that we'll take that off the President-elect John Dramani Mahama. Kojo.
I suspect there are several copies of several documents signed in what looks from here like a big pen.
I knew you would definitely bring that in, that it's a big pen that is being used.
The Vice President of the Republic of Ghana puts her signature to these all-important documents.
I think at the last count, it looks like she signed about 5 documents already.
And there might be a couple more before she's done. And of course, what this means is that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is no longer the Vice President of Ghana.
It's done.
It is now,
it's over.
For the first time, a female. Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. It's important to make a quick correction. When I was talking about her firsts, I mentioned that she was the first female education minister. That is not accurate. We've actually had 4 other female education ministers: Joyce Ayi, Ama Ata Edu, Dr. Christiana Mwakunyama, and Betty Molde-Driso have all held that portfolio.
Oh, the women will not forgive you for that. Yes, indeed, but she's chalked a lot of firsts.
Oh, yes.
And this is the biggest.
Yes,
the first female Vice President.
This is the one we will all be telling
Ghana.
our daughters about. And of course, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman now is waiting patiently as the documents are looked over to ensure not a single one has missed her signature. And of course, once that is put to bed, we'll be moving on to the big one, the swearing of the oaths by the new President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, a man with 4 years to make a difference.
More documents to be signed. This time is a big book.
Yes.
And it has to go in there, I'm sure, because it's a parliamentary proceeding. That also has to go in there, and she has to sign that as well.
You know, on days like this, much will be said of the fashion of the day, and the Vice President is looking quite lovely in her very dark red gown, sort of vermilion colored gown with some flowery detail over the shoulder, looking very regal. She has certainly made the effort to fit the pomp and pageantry of the day with some kente to match this wonderful outfit. She is indeed looking vice presidential, if we may
very modern
say
vice presidential, I should say.
Indeed.
Looking
now,
very regal.
We see her detail, taking her gently down the stairs and down the red carpet, back to her seat.
How destinies change, you know.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah. In the blink of an eye, history is made, destiny is changed. One era gives way to another.
And the President-elect cheering her on with that
proudly.
Club. Yes, very proud.
I'm sure he feels very
vindicated. And the First Lady, incoming First Lady also.
That's right.
Cheering, and you can see party supporters all cheering her on. This history definitely is worth celebrating. We are the first female Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane.
She waves proudly to the crowd as she now takes her seat in the Vice President's chair. And this is a seat that she'll be occupying at all parliamentary events for the next 4 years. Wherever she is needed, this is the seat she'll be seated in. Let's go back to hear the Speaker of Parliament.
To take and subscribe to the oath of allegiance and the presidential oath. Your Excellency, you may now proceed to do so.
Your Excellency, kindly say after me. This is the oath of allegiance. I, your name,
John Dramani Mahama,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
do in the name of the Almighty God swear
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
to
the Republic of Ghana as by law established, that I will uphold
and that I will uphold
the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana, and that I will preserve, protect and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. So help me God.
So help me God.
Your Excellency, now the presidential oath. I,
John Dramani Mahama,
having been elected to the high office of President of the Republic of Ghana, do in the name of the Almighty God swear that I will be faithful and true to the Republic of Ghana, that I will at all times preserve, protect and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, and that I dedicate myself to the service and well-being of the people of the Republic of Ghana, and to do right to all manner of persons. I further solemnly swear that should I at any time break this oath of office, I shall submit myself to the laws of the Republic of Ghana, and suffer the penalty for it. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President. Let me be the first.
And the down is what? Matime.
And Ghana has the 6th president of the Republic of Ghana in the person of a former president and 66-year-old John Dramani Mahama. He's just taking the presidential oath and the oath of allegiance, and now is just showing us the presidential sword. And of course, he is the president of the Republic of Ghana, looking all resplendent in that agbada, adorned with kente lining right there. All went straight to the wife, Lordina Mahama, to give that special hug. It's like, baby, I made it. And of course, I am the 6th president of the Republic of Ghana. And you can't help but notice, I've been talking about his agbada, you can't help but notice the Adinkra symbols on the front, imprinted on the front of that particular agbada.
Cluster of 4 Adinkra symbols in a square formation on the front of the agbada. The one at the top is
the Nyamidia.
The Nyamidia Adinkra symbol, which translates into tree of God.
Yes.
It's a symbol that represents the presence of God, the ever-continuing presence of God.
And it's the first,
it's the first symbol. So you can imagine the message being sent here is that I intend to do this with God. With me at all times.
And you see the next one?
Yes, which is on
the Sankofa.
On the left when you face him, and that's the Sankofa symbol. Sankofa, of course, is about preserving tradition.
Yes.
It's about looking back to see the way forward.
But you can't help but just loosely translated that. We've just gone back for a former president. Sankofa Yinchi, is that what they always say?
Indeed. Yes. You've gone back for what is your own, right?
And
then on the right, you have Jinyame, one of the most popular Adinkra symbols, which simply means that nothing can be done without God. So once again, the presence of God being manifest in the messaging of this outfit that the President of the Republic is wearing. And then the symbol at the bottom, a less popular one, I believe it's the horns of a ram formed into an Adinkra symbol. We are certainly very excited and interested in that one. We'll be bringing it.
It does appear we have the national anthem. Maybe we should go back there. Oh, that's it. Yes. Okay. Well, I saw the president standing upright. It does look like we're having a documentary on the journey so far for the president of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, and his vice, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. History indeed has been made. We have a former president making a comeback, and we've been talking about those symbols. It does appear that what he's wearing is sending a strong message as well about the journey so far. Kojo has told us about the Nyamidia, those 4 cluster of Adinkra symbols on the front, imprinted on the front of the president's attire. We have the Nyamidia, we have the Sankofa, we have the Jinyame, and then of course the ram's horn. I'm still trying to get the tree name for that. I have the Ever name for it, but I would hold on to that one.
Go on.
I will
hold on. Excite us
hold on
with
to
the
that
Ever
one.
name.
But we're waiting to get the Chi Adinkra name for that. But of course, a clear message there that the president is sending. And it looked like the Matimesie, which more like I've heard and I have listened. More like, but it does appear that's not it. It's the ram's horn instead that Kojo has been telling us about. So Nyamidria, Sankofa, Jinyame, and then of course the ram's horn. That message that the president of the Republic is sending. That's the 6th president of the Republic of Ghana in the person of John Dramani Mahama, 66-year-old John Dramani Mahama, the first president of the Republic that was born after independence. Well around that time, 66 years, President John Dramani Mahama. That's the 6th president of the Republic of Ghana, and that oath administered a while ago by the Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu to him, and of course the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman there. And there's currently a documentary on the journey so far, where we've been, where we've come from, and where we are today. And shortly, we'll get that speech that we've all been waiting for from the President of the Republic of Ghana. What kind of speech will it be in the presence of 21 heads of states, 4 vice presidents, 4 ministers, and 24 envoys, and of course, your presence as well. Speaker Alban Bagbin is currently speaking. Let's go.
Life is expensive. Quality tools don't have to be. Harbor Freight, America's #1 tool store.
Hold it. The Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Members of Parliament, Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, Your Excellency, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Ghana, and special guest of honor for this occasion, Your Excellencies, Presidents, Heads of Government and Development Agencies, Your Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and former Presidents, Your Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters. I wish you a good morning, and we give thanks to the Almighty God on this occasion. Our Father who art in heaven, we thank you for giving us this day, a day that offers me, your humble servant, a unique opportunity to work to reset our dear country, Ghana. 32 years ago, on January 7th, Ghana made its first and most successful democratic transition, a reset, with the swearing in of the newly democratically elected President, Jerry John Rawlings, of blessed memory. Our nation was returned to a multi-party democracy with a new constitution that went into effect, and the Fourth Republic was officially established. I refer to it as a reset because on that day in 1993, we made our fourth attempt at establishing a democratic system of government with term limits based on free, fair, and transparent elections. The handover of power on January 7, 2001, between former President Jerry John Rawlings and at the time the newly elected President John Ajekwu Kufuor, tested that reset, and our nation passed with flying colors. So today, with my induction as the new President of the Republic of Ghana, history is being made once again. And it is a history worth repeating every 4 years with each newly elected president. Today, we're also making a different kind of history, one that speaks to our maturity as a democracy, a nation of citizens enfranchised with the authority at the polls to determine their political future. Today's exercise between the outgoing President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and I feels a bit like a deja vu. That is because 8 years ago to this day, on January 7, 2017, we shared this same space and performed this same transitional exercise. At the time, I was the outgoing president, having served one term, and he was the incoming president, having been given a mandate by the people of Ghana to lead this great nation of us. He and I both understood on that day, as I'm sure we are today, that it is the people of Ghana that we are elected to serve. Somehow, it seems fitting that it is with Nana Akufo-Addo that I twice shared this stage and this unique historical distinction. Because Nana Akufo-Addo and I began our national political careers in Parliament in the same year, 1996. He has always greeted me with warmth, a firm handshake, and a smile. And he is perhaps the only person in my life who has persistently chosen to call me Johnny. While we belong to opposing political parties, we shared a sense of mutual respect. In those early days, we probably could not have imagined that destiny would bring us to the leadership of our respective parties and that we would have to face off 3 separate times as we each vied for the highest office of the land. Nana, as this will be our final meeting under these circumstances, and as I look back on the journey we have traveled together, 2 much younger men who entered Parliament together with a full head of black hair and you with the same bald head and round eyeglasses, I have to say that you have without exception been a worthy opponent. I extend my warmest wishes to His Excellency, the former Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. It was a grueling campaign and we gave it our all. Your sportsmanship in making an early concession eased tensions and contributed to the early conclusion of the electoral contest. I wish you all the best in your endeavors. My brothers and sisters, the world in which Ghana exists today, as I begin this presidency, is not the same world in which we have lived under other presidencies. There are tensions and conflicts that have not previously existed between nations. These tensions and conflicts place pressure on alliances to decide where we will support. There's a seismic shift happening within the system of global economic dominance. Whereas the G7 nations, United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan once provided the highest percentage of the world's GDP, over the last decade, that number has been steadily dropping. However, the combined total of the GDP of the BRIC nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, UAE, their GDP has been consistently increasing. In 2023, for instance, the G7's combined total of world GDP was 30%. But by 2029, that number is predicted to drop to 27%. In 2023, the BRICS percentage of world GDP was 37.3%. And so what does this mean to us in Ghana? What could it mean to our economy? Where do we fit in this geopolitical maelstrom? Technology such as artificial intelligence has taken us to new heights, opening up the potential for national, financial, and personal security issues that we are not yet able to imagine. One example is the use of misinformation and algorithm manipulations on social media platforms to sway a particular group's sentiments towards or away from something. Now more than ever before, we need to strengthen our ties with our neighbors to ensure that we're working together to keep our sub-region safe. We stand in solidarity and work in alliance with all our neighbors in the sub-region. Recognizing the history of our borders, we also acknowledge that on the other side of our country's borders are our family members. They may be Ivorians, they may be Togolese, they may be Burkinabes, they may be Nigerians or Malians, but they are also Akans, they are Kasinas, they are Gwans, they are Ewes, they are Nzemes, they are Hausas, they are Moshis and Gurmes, because we are all part of one another, one big family. With the increase of the climate crisis, and as the waters grow warmer, melting the Arctic ice and permafrost, there's a greater likelihood for viruses that have been frozen and thought to be extinct for decades, perhaps even centuries, to begin to spread and create another global pandemic. The changing climate conditions, increased population density in urban areas, and mass international travel are enabling existing viruses to spread and mutate at a faster and faster rate than they did before. This is a serious challenge. Let us not forget the toll that the past epidemics of viruses like Ebola, COVID, and Mpox have taken on the families and communities and medical infrastructure in several of our neighboring countries and in the sub-region. Let us also not forget how swiftly and completely the COVID pandemic brought the entire world to a screeching halt. My government will be working diligently to strengthen our public health systems while monitoring the global health situation so that when, and not if, but when the next pandemic or epidemic occurs, the loss of lives in Ghana will be minimal. The larger world exists around us and to some extent within us. While we cannot and should never use it as an excuse to stray from the direct and immediate needs of Ghana for the well-being of our citizens, we must also bear in mind that the affairs of the world, if we care to shape, lessen, avoid, or even at the other end of things, maximize the effect they have on us. My brothers and sisters, barely a month ago, we held historic elections that have caused dramatic shifts in our political landscape. I feel greatly honored that you, my compatriots, considered me worthy of receiving such an unprecedented and overwhelming mandate to steer the affairs of our beloved nation at this critical time in our history. The magnitude of this victory in the presidential elections and the gains that were made by my party, the National Democratic Congress, in the parliamentary elections naturally and justifiably resulted in great joy and celebration across our country, Ghana. But celebrations, no matter how justified and how well earned, must be supplanted by discernment, sobriety, and deeper insights into why we received this kind of mandate in the first place. By voting as you did on December 7th, the Ghanaian people conveyed a powerful message, yet often overlooked by us politicians. This message was powerfully emphasized by a giant of American political history, President Ronald Reagan, when he declared at his inauguration some 40 years ago that governments have no power except that granted by the people. While Ghanaians take great pride in our thriving democracy, they are deeply dissatisfied with the quality of governance over the years and have openly voiced that dissatisfaction through the decisive actions that they undertake at the elections. Our people also understand that democracy is not just a token adorned with periodic elections followed by pomp and pageantry with the establishment of a new government. They expect that if democracy is celebrated as a superior means of governance, then its outcomes must be more tangible and benefit them in their individual lives. Any honest introspection and reflection on the pulse of our nation would reveal that many within our population do not feel that they have benefited from or partaking in this democratic dividend. Where people buffeted by severe economic crisis and hardships, and in the last few years, we have lurched from crisis to crisis. But there is hope on the horizon. Today should mark the beginning of a new opportunity, an opportunity for us to make a difference in our governance and our economic management. We shall reset our dear nation, Ghana. To the millions of my fellow countrymen and women who joined long queues and waited in the sun for their turn to vote for me, you have my sincerest thanks for honoring me. My firm, immutable assurance is that your votes will matter in the work that I'll do to make a difference in the destiny of this dear nation of ours. Your courage, to bring change will not go in vain. Our nation was born with much promise. That promise would seem hazy and in doubt now because of all that has happened in the past. But I urge you, my fellow countrymen, not to be sucked into a state of perpetual pessimism. For some time, our country has urgently needed leadership with an unwavering desire to get things done. I, with all humility, assent that I intend to be that leader with your cooperation and your help. As your next leader, I shall strive to exercise sound judgment and be able to make the right calls at the right time. I will have the humility and presence of mind to take responsibility for any challenges and be willing to act firmly and timelessly to resolve the challenges that we face as a nation. Since the elections, I have read and heard the word hope used many times in relation to my presidency and what it should offer the citizens of Ghana. I intend to speak plainly and clearly to you today, and every time I address you subsequently, I intend to always tell you the truth. The circumstances we find ourselves in are indeed dire, but even so, I'll be decisive and swift in my actions. We'll focus our initial efforts on 4 critical areas. The first is economic restoration and stabilization of the macroeconomic environment. The second is the improvement of the business and investment environment to ensure that Ghana is once again open for business. The third is governance and constitutional reforms. And the final, but not the least, is accountability and the fight against corruption. My brothers and sisters, actions have always spoken louder than words. With that in mind, I have entered into a covenant with you, the good people of Ghana, in which I have enumerated 26 actions that I'll take within my first 120 days. There is reason for hope, and there is every reason for hope. But we must also have faith, because faith empowers us to trust the things that will happen. With faith, you believe what you know, and that is why we need faith to be able to achieve our reset. We need a reset with the faith we have in our country and our leadership. We need a reset with the faith we have in our institutions. We need a reset with our faith in our dear nation, Ghana. And by that, I mean in all of us, because all of us are Ghana. You are Ghana, and I am Ghana. All of you seated here today, Ghanaian citizens, you are Ghana. The people who you are with or near you as you watch this on television, in your homes, or listen on radio, or follow on social media are what we call Ghana. I ask that we enter into the covenant with the Ghana we all love and the good people of our country who make up this dear nation. And I ask that you envision a Ghana that you want to live in, a Ghana that you want to leave behind to your children and your grandchildren. What can you do to help build that better Ghana that we all strive for? What behaviors, what attitudes and mindsets can we reset? We need a reset, and we have faith in Ghana's ability to overcome, excel, and be so successful with this reset that it will be difficult to imagine a time when that was not the case. As we stand at this momentous crossroads in our nation's history, I am honored and humbled to accept the mantle of the President of the Republic of Ghana. Today we celebrate a new administration and herald an unprecedented era of opportunity and transformation. With Nana, Jane, Opoku-Agyeman by my side, we are poised to embark on a journey of progress and inclusivity, united in our vision for a more prosperous Ghana. This day is particularly special for us and for every Ghanaian who dreams of a society where barriers are shattered and ambitions are realized. With the inauguration of Ghana's first female vice president, we have turned a significant page in our history. Nana Jane's ascension to the high office is not merely a personal triumph. It symbolizes our collective commitment to fostering a nation where gender equality and female representation are cherished and amplified. This is a powerful testament to the power of diverse voices to shape the future, voices that have the courage to soar beyond our traditional confines. My brothers and sisters, together as we look to the horizon, we reaffirm our dedication to breaking the glass ceiling that has long hindered many from reaching their full potential. Governance that reflects all segments of our population strengthens our democracy and enriches our conversation. We stand committed to enacting policies that empower women and ensure that the door of opportunity is opened wide for our youth and our women, regardless of their background. Together, we'll galvanize our efforts to create a society where every Ghanaian can dream, believe, and achieve without any restraints. Remember that great leadership is not defined merely by the offices we occupy, but by the legacy that we leave for future generations. My administration, along with my Vice President, Nana Opoku-Agyeman, will prioritize inclusivity, accountability, and innovation, forging pathways that would lead to the upliftment of all of our citizens. I'm profoundly grateful for this moment, a cornerstone in our journey towards a brighter future for Ghana. In this resounding victory, I see a clarion call, particularly from the youth of Ghana, a generation that is brimming with potential and dreams that are waiting to be realized. This moment is a powerful affirmation that your voices matter, that your aspirations are valid, and that your future must be our priority. We're committed to translating your hopes into action and creating opportunities for education, entrepreneurship, employment, and empowerment. Our policies will be tailored to sustain innovation and foster industry that engages today's young minds and equip them with the skills needed for tomorrow's challenges. Together with the private sector and captains of business, we will create decent and well-paying jobs. As we embark on this new chapter, I assure you that our decisions will champion diversity in all facets of governance, ensuring that every Ghanaian, regardless of your ethnicity, your gender, your age, your religion, or any background, will have the opportunity to contribute to our nation's story. Ghana's youth represent the heartbeat of our democracy. Their ambition will drive our policies as we strive to create an inclusive, equitable society where everyone has a seat at the table. Our vision hinges on the introduction and implementation of a 24-hour economy. We envisage an innovative and vibrant 24-hour Ghanaian economy, which will also be anchored in agriculture and agribusiness. This innovative approach would unlock potentials that have long remained dormant, enabling us to harness the energy and creativity of all our people. Just imagine a Ghana where our markets are alive and bustling at all hours of the day, with responsive public services accessible at all times, such that businesses can operate flexibly to meet the diverse demands that they are subjected to. And young people, including entrepreneurs, can find opportunities regardless of traditional institutions. The 24-hour economy model will also bolster job creation for the young people, stimulate local industry, and attract foreign investments, and allow us to build resilient communities and a sustainable future. This vision extends beyond mere economic transactions. It symbolizes empowerment, the empowerment of every Ghanaian to contribute to our national progress. My fellow citizens, this vision will allow us to embrace diversity, to cater to varied lifestyles and preferences, and foster a culture of inclusion, ensure that every citizen can enjoy the fruits of his hard work. To the business leaders and entrepreneurs, I invite you to support this new model and join me in shaping a business environment where creativity thrives and where the fruits of your investments contribute to the collective welfare of our nation. Your role in driving our economy forward cannot be overstated. Your innovation and dedication will be a backbone of our success story. And I pledge to you that we would look at the tax regime and rationalize them so that they are more transparent and fair. Members of the business community, I assure you, Ghana is open for business again. Let me thank you, Your Excellencies, my fellow presidents, for leaving what is a busy schedule behind and coming to join us at this ceremony. Your presence brings honor to this inaugural ceremony. And I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you and to our sister countries who have traveled from near and far to be with us today. Your presence is a testament to the strong bonds of friendship and cooperation that exist between our nations. And I promise you I will work to foster the partnerships that transcends our borders, and I'll work collectively with you towards regional stability, economic growth, and mutual respect between our nations. To my friends from across Africa and the world, I thank you and welcome you to Ghana. And in our local parlance, I say Akwaba to all of you. To my family and fellow citizens, my wife Lodina, I thank you for your unwavering support and commitment to our shared vision. This journey is not mine alone. It belongs to all of us. It belongs to each of you. Let today be the dawn of a new era of hope, an era of job creation, an era of accountability, an era of institutional strengthening and resilience, and an era of unparalleled potential for all Ghanaians. We will write the next chapter in Ghana's story, and it will be one of promise, transparency, and transformative progress. My fellow citizens, this is a patriotic call to action for all of us to participate in building a nation that lives up to its promise, where hope thrives and dreams become a reality. Together, let us cultivate a brighter future for our beloved Ghana, where unity, progress, and equality are not just ideals we aspire to, but are the very fabric of our nation. In closing, I invite you to partner with us on this journey. Together, we can create a brighter future for our beloved Ghana, where unity, progress, and equality are not simply goals we are aiming for, but are the cornerstone of our society. Let's work hand in hand to foster these values and strengthen our nation for everyone. My fellow citizens, our invited guests, I thank you very much. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. I thank you.
Yeah. Honorable members, on your behalf, I convey the gratitude of the House to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, for his address. Your Excellency, the House is extremely grateful to you. Honorable members, may now we have the presence of our special guest of honor in the distinguished personality of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Republic of the Federal, I should say the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is my honor to now invite him to deliver his address. Your Excellency, you are welcome to do so now.
Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Ghana, Head of State and Government here present, Right Honorable Speaker and members of Parliament of Ghana, members of the diplomatic corps, eminent personalities here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is always good when a friend and brother can visit the home of a close neighbor to celebrate his success and progress with him. Today, we celebrate African democracy as Ghana and our beloved people mark the transition from one democratic government to another. This moment does not merely symbolize another milestone in the evolution of Ghanaians' democratic society. It further demonstrates that in West Africa, we are capable of democratic and productive endeavors. It is time that our continent critics stop forgetting the strides that Ghana, Nigeria, and others have made. We need not prove ourselves to them. We have nothing to prove to anyone except ourselves. We will lift our nations out of poverty and build strong and resilient economies for our people. Today, I am here not only as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but also as an African in resolute support of Ghana and our people. This moment is a source of pride and honor for Ghanaians, the entire continent, and its diaspora. The sun is out and the sky may be blue, but I see today a black star rising high in African sky. This black star shines over this nation, and its rays spread across this continent with a sense of shared history, hope, compassion, unity, devotion to our common welfare. While others may seek to demean Africa and keep brothers pitted against brothers, that shining star reminds us of who we are. Better yet, it reminds us of who we can be. That star reminds us always to strive and work together, bond together, even when we disagree. We must choose the path of peaceful dialogue. Never can we do harm to our brothers, nor can we permit any outsider to disrupt our bonds of brotherhood. The spirit of Ghana, the first Republic President, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, is here present today, lifting that star higher and higher. Just as Ghana draws inspiration and a well of strength from Kwame Nkrumah and many of his past leaders, Nigeria similarly draws inspiration from its founding fathers, who not only fought for our independence, but also cherished the close relationship between our two nations. May we always walk in the way and in the spirit of these enlightened leaders. Ghana is in harmony with that spirit, and President John Mahama inauguration today reflects that. Your new president is a man of patriotic vision and substance. He loves his nation and his people to the core. He believes that your nation has a mission and intend for you all to fulfill it. No one can ask more of a leader than that. President John Mahama and I share a deep friendship. My dear brother, I am here to walk with you. You know you can count on Nigeria's support at any given time. You call on me. We are your brothers and sisters. We shall always be there for you. May your administration be a profound success and progress for you, Ghanaians, and the entire region. I am confident that new government under the leadership of President John Mahama will work with Nigeria to strengthen this powerful bond, leading to greater shared progress, prosperity for the people of our two nations. I have no doubt that your administration will bring about positive change and progress. Your accession to the power should also mark a new and invigorating momentum in pursuing sub-regional and integration and progress. With laser focus, we can tackle our people's most pressing problem of poverty, youth unemployment, instability, insurgency, and many other problems hampering our desired progress. May Ghana's democracy continue to grow stronger. May progress and prosperity be your portion. Let us all look forward to a future filled with hope, opportunity, and progress. God bless Ghana and its beloved people. God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria and its beloved people. God bless ECOWAS. God bless our beloved Africa. I thank you for your kind attention. God bless you.
Honorable members, we are indeed inspired by the warm words of His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I now have the honor to, on your behalf, invite the visiting heads of state and former presidents to congratulate the President of the Republic of Ghana. I have a real tall list It is my hope and prayer Twice elected in my kingdom.
Eh? Well, the most important speech has been delivered a while ago by the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama. He is the sixth for the Fourth Republic. Of course, we've had about 9 presidents in the country, but in the Fourth Republic, he is the sixth president, and he's just delivered that important speech. We've also had the speech by the special guest of honor, Tinubu Asiwaju Bola Adenkule Tinubu. He's the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Just some highlights from the speech of the President of the Republic of Ghana as we wait for the other congratulatory messages that are going to come through. I've seen the former President John Ajekum Kufuor heading towards the dais to also, I'm not too sure if he's going to deliver a speech though, but we are also live on Joy 99.7 FM. We're on the Joy News channel, we're on Joy Prime, we're on myjoyonline.com and all our social media platforms. Just walking you through portions of that speech delivered by the President of the Republic. Of course, he concludes by admonishing business community that Ghana is now open for business again, and talks about the fact that, okay, the speaker is just speaking. Let's go there.
Call the names of our distinguished dignitaries, the heads of states and presidents from various countries, to come to congratulate His Excellency the President of Ghana. And I will start with our special guest, the President, the Commander-in-Chief, and the Head of State of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the person of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to lead in this whole exercise. Your Excellency, you may proceed to do so now. Immediately after him will be His Excellency the President of the Republic of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame. Then follows His Excellency the President of the Republic of Togo, His Excellency Faure Gnassingbé. After him comes His Excellency the President of Benin, the Republic of Benin, in the person of Patrice Talon. Bon Benin. Yeah. Then follows the President of Gambia, His Excellency Adama Barrow. After him, we have His Excellency Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, the President of the Federal Republic of Sierra Leone. Immediately follows His Excellency Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Chilombo, the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo. After His Excellency the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, we have His Excellency Umaru Sissoco Embalo, the President of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau. After him follows the President of the Republic of Cabo Verde, His Excellency Jose Maria Neves. After the President of Cabo Verde, we have His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, the rural boy, who is the President of the Republic of Kenya. Rural boy. The rural boy.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Honorable members, After His Excellency William Ruto, this is the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Numa Boakai Sr. We also have His Excellency the President, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba. He is the President of the Republic of Namibia. Sorry. That is a she, not a he. Doctor, you may forgive me. After Her Excellency, the President of Namibia, is His Excellency Basiru Diomaye Faye, the President of the Republic of Senegal. We then have the President of the Republic of Chad, in the person of His Excellency Mahama Idris Deby Itno. After him, we have the President of the Republic of Botswana, His Excellency Duma Gideon Boku. After him comes the head of state of the strong people of Burkina Faso, His Excellency Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Honorable members, the full meaning of Burkina Faso means strong men and women of integrity. We have His Excellency Brigadier General Bryce Clotaire Oligui Nguema, the President of the Republic of Gabon. After him, we have His Excellency Mamadi Doumbouya, who is the President of Guinea-Conakry. And after him, we have the Prime Minister, Abdoulaye Maïga. He's the Prime Minister of Mali. We also have the Prime Minister of Niger in the person of Mr. Lamine Zain Ali Mahama, and the Prime Minister of Haiti, His Excellency Fritz Alphonse Jean. Prime Minister Mali, Prime Minister of Niger. After him is the Prime Minister of Haiti. Bonjour, ça va? Bienvenue. After that, we have the Vice President of Equatorial Guinea, the person of His Excellency Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo. Then follows the Vice President of Uganda, the person of Jessica Rose Epel Alupo. We have the Vice President of the Republic of Tanzania, His Excellency Dr. Philip Isdor Mpango. That is rather the Vice President of Tanzania. We also have with us the Vice President of La Côte d'Ivoire.
Greetings from President Museveni.
The person of Chiemoko Meiliet Kone. night. La Côte d'Ivoire. After His Excellency the Vice President of La Côte d'Ivoire, we have the Vice President of Mauritania, His Excellency Mohamed Adihali Khatra. Mon ami. The Vice President of Mauritania, we now have the Speaker of Parliament of the Kingdom of Morocco, His Excellency Rashid Talbi Alami. After him is the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Olusegun Obasanjo. Together with his younger brother, the former President of Nigeria, His Excellency Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Speaker.
Morocco.
Speaker of Morocco.
Yes.
I hope to see you.
Yes. Thank you so much for the invitation. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. After His Excellency Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, we have the former President of Liberia, in the person of Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. After her, we have the former President of the Federal Republic of South Africa, in the person of His Excellency Jacob Zuma. After the former President of South Africa, we have the former President of Germany, His Excellency Christian Wolff. After Germany, follows the foreign minister of the European Union, Belgium, European Affairs, Foreign Trade, and the Funeral Culture Institute. His Excellency Bernard Quentin. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Mr. Chairman. Yes. Good to see you, Speaker.
Thank you. After the foreign minister of EU, we have the senior minister, His Excellency Jean-Jacques Broya of Congo, Brazzaville. After Congo, Brazzaville, we have the Minister for Africa, the United Nations, the Commonwealth and Human Rights of United Kingdom. Speaker? Yes. In the person of Lord Collins of Highbury. After him comes the Minister for Defense of Zimbabwe, Honorable Opa Michinguri Kashiri.
Congratulations on your re-election.
We also have the Minister for Housing, Lands and Maintenance of Barbados, Honorable Dwight Sutherland, Member of Parliament. Barbados.
Greetings from Prime Minister.
Yes. Quite long. I have to cut protocol and go to invite the former Vice President of our great Republic of Ghana, in the person of His Excellency Dr. Mahmoudou Bawumia. Honorable members, once again, the list is very, very long. I will now invite the President of the ECOWAS Commission, in the person of His Excellency Dr. Omar Eliu Toure. We have so many special envoys and ministers from Czech, Israel, Spain, China, Japan, Russia. We have the mayor of Los Angeles, United States. And please, you are all invited to follow in this order, the order I just mentioned. Thank you. Czech, Israel, Spain, China, Japan, Russia, Mayor of Los Angeles, Deputy General Secretary of the United Nations, Ms. Amina Mohammed, Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Right Honorable Patricia Scotland, the African Union Commission Chairperson, Special Envoy, His Excellency Wamikele. And we have the Honorary Consul General for Nigeria and Ghana of Belize, Dr. Ifeanyiku Ifede.
Starting the meeting.
We have the former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, the Secretary General of Climate Vulnerable Forum, Pan-African Parliament, the President himself, His Excellency Chief Fortune Zephania Charbura. We have the African Development Bank. The President of the African Development Bank is here himself. We have the Vice President of the World Bank in charge of Western and Central Africa. Then the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, the President and Chairman of the Board of Directors, our own Dr. George Ajekum Donko. We have the United Bank for Africa, Chairman of the group, Mr. Tony Elumelu, and we have the Ambassador of Bahamas, yes. We have the President of the Secretary General of the United Nations Office for West Africa and the Sahel, Mr. Leonardo Santos Simao, and the Deputy National Secretary Advisor to Sheikh Khalid bin Ali Al Khalifa of Bahrain. And then the Executive Director of Africa Development Bank Group, And we have the Vice President for Africa, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, Usman Diagana. After all this, I will invite the former speakers of our parliament. They may come. Congratulate His Excellency the President. I am compelled by the situation, not only time constraints, but the exhaustion of all gathered here, to invite the chairman of the Council of Elders of the Great Evergreen National Democratic Congress, who could at his pleasure come with some of the executives of the party to congratulate His Excellency the President. And we will crown it all with the First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Her Excellency Lordina Mahama.
Guinea-Bissau, Cape Verde, Kenya, Chad, Togo, Burkina Faso, Guinea-Conakry, Niger, Mali, Equatorial Guinea, Uganda, Tanzania, La Côte d'Ivoire, Mauritania, Morocco, Nigeria, Liberia, South Africa, Germany. We had representatives from the EU. We had Congo, Brazzaville. We had the UK. We had Zimbabwe. We had Barbados. We had Ghana. Also, and of course, we are the ECOWAS representative. We have the Czech Republic. We also have Israel, and we have Spain, we have Japan, we have China, and they've all come through and to celebrate this day with us. And there's a lot of talk also about the attire of the president. I'm sure these are things that we'll get to go into. We've talked about the Adinkra symbol. We know that it's from Bondana. They've already started talking about it. And I don't know if the choice of Agbada is because we're having a special guest from Nigeria. We also know that Nigeria is the first place he visited just when he won that election. And the way he's wearing that hat also, we know that when you fold it, that hat, when it's folded towards the right side of his head, the Dagbon people call it the Nala, and it means the wearer is a person of strength. He could be a rich man or an influential person in society. And we know that the Agbada also that he's wearing is borrowed from the Sahel in general, and specifically Yoruba people of Nigeria. And that choice, we know, it signifies his and Ghana's appeal and relevance within the sub-region. And the dominant color, which is white, we know is obviously for victory and good omen, and of course giving it the kente symbol also, with the kente in there. Some have said, it's already generated a lot of talk on social media about the choice of attire, but of course it does look like that Nigerian bit in there and all that.
With the kente highlights. And that was a specially made kente for this occasion.
Yes.
By the way, I feel like I have OCD, and so I have to complete a task I started earlier.
Yes.
We were talking about the Adinkra symbols, the 4 Adinkra symbols on the breastplate of Agbada. And the final one was the Jinimin. We didn't get to that. The Jinimin, which is actually the ram's horns, the horns of a ram. And that signifies strength and humility. Okay, the ram being an animal of great strength, but also of great humility.
And I must add, this particular symbol is also part of the University of Ghana symbol.
That's correct.
The president went to the University of Ghana. He was a Vandal. So I've just been finding, I've been finding out the choice of these Adinkra symbols from the designers and what actually went into the decision to pick this particular 4. There are a number of Adinkra symbols, but the choice of these 4 particular symbols, the Nyamidria we've talked about, the Sankofa, the Jinyame, and the Dwimining, which is the ram's horn. And so it does look like the strength, humility, and then with his background, educational background at the University of Ghana in there, and the Nyamidria, which I've already explained, the Sankofa, which means that we are bringing back a former president, sort of, and then also they say Sankofa Yenchi, and then also the Jinyame, you've already explained. We can't do anything without God. So it looks like everything in that particular attire, or the choice of attire for the president today, very symbolic. A lot of thinking went into it to choose whatever it is that we're seeing that is the output, and then the way he's also wearing the hat amongst others. But as we speak, a lot of congratulatory messages, and then also handshakes still ongoing. We have more and more of them. A party National Council of Elders, they've gone by. We've seen the family, and we have more and more of them trooping to the days to actually, I think the children are back again.
Wow. Well, I might as well, if it's nice to do it twice. Let's also spend a moment on the speech that he gave. Lots of very important points. You started to summarize a few of them.
Yes, he talks about the deja vu that he's getting, especially because of President Akufo-Addo, and the fact that they were both in Parliament at some point, extolled him and talked about the fact that he's a worthy opponent, and then went on to the outgoing vice president or former vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and the fact that he's a sportsman, and his early concession, how he ended the contest. Some have said, is the contest really over? But he's talked about also working with our neighboring country, and the fact that government, he quotes Ronald Reagan, government have no power except when it is granted by the people. And he talks about hope being on the horizon, and that today marks the beginning of a new opportunity. And of course, it's time to reset Ghana, and we need that faith to be able to reset the country. Speaker Alban Bagbin is on. Let me take you there and we'll wrap up later.
And the minority leaders to come and give an indication as to where we proceed to from here. Please, the majority and the minority leaders.
Right Honorable Speaker, we have exhausted the business on today's order paper. In view of that, I move that this House adjourn to tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the forenoon.
Mr. Speaker, it is the desire of the minority that this House be suspended so we continue to do business in fulfillment of the 24-hour economy. However, if the majority leader so pleases, I shall second his motion for adjournment. Thank you very much. Honorable members, in view of what your leaders have said, adjourn the House to tomorrow, Wednesday, the 8th of January 2025 at 12 noon. The sitting is accordingly adjourned.
And it's definitely over, Kojo. And sitting adjourned to tomorrow. Inauguration of President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, officially over. Ghana has a new president in the person of the man from Damango, one time an MP for Boli Bamboy, Minister of Communication, then was also a deputy minister, was a vice president, was an ECOWAS chair, was a president at one point, vice president, like I said, and today he's an author as well. And today he's the president of the Republic of Ghana once again, John Dramani Mahama, Ghana's president.
Yeah, he now has 4 years ahead of him with absolutely nothing to lose because he has no desire or even hope of re-election. What will he do with this unique set of circumstances? If it all works out well, it will be to the benefit of a grateful nation. And we certainly hope that that is the outcome. Today, as this historic moment comes to an end, there is a feeling of joy across the nation for those who had hoped for this eventuality. For others who feel a sense of loss, there is also a 4-year period to reflect, regroup, recuperate, and attempt once again to become relevant in the political
But for today
space.
is a time to unite. And also, like you heard the president in his speech talk about the fact that it's time for inclusivity, accountability, and innovation. And it's time for every citizen to enjoy the fruit of their hard work. And then also it's time to have the Ghanaian dream that he talks about. But as for corruption, he says that it's time for it to be tackled and that they have a commitment to tackling it. He describes it as a covenant, actually, that would be taking place, and that there were 26 actions that will be taking in the next 120 days. And this starts from today. We'll start tracking from today. And then he talks about how he accepts the mantle with honor, and that you create a society where every Ghanaian can dream. As the procession, because this is parliamentary sitting, like we said, so we'll have the Speaker, the President, the Vice President, the Chief Justice, all of them, engage in that procession. And you must acknowledge that we've seen the IGP, and he is the man that has been just close to the days where the Speaker, the President, and the Vice President and the Chief Justice were. He's been on his feet for quite some time.
Yes.
He's been in the shots. If you didn't notice, I think you should pay attention to
the IGP and the Chief of Defense Staff play the roles of aides de camp on special national ceremonies like this. So the Chief of Defense Staff is aide de camp to the President, and the IGP is aide de camp to the Vice President for such events, which explains their presence on their feet throughout this exercise. You can now see them marching along with their charges as they depart from the location. And this parliamentary session has come to a successful end.
And you had the minority and the majority leaders at least move the motions for the adjournment of this particular sit-in till tomorrow. And I'm sure that we've been capturing the moments as well, photographs taking also as they process out of the place. And we've been hearing from Tinubu on this, and he talks about the fact that the Black Star is rising and rising and rising, like he puts it, and that he's here to work with the president. It does appear that he didn't hide it at all about the friendship that is between himself and the President of the Republic of Ghana, and that Nigeria is offering its full support to Ghana in times like this. However, he talks about tackling the issues about poverty, youth employment, and insurgency that is on the rise in the sub-region, and we must have a commitment to actually tackling these concerns that Tinubu talks about. Tinubu Asiwajo. Really, Adinkule Bola Tinubu. Well, he's been speaking. He was the special guest of honor for today. It does appear that it's all coming to an end. The inauguration that we've all been looking forward to for the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama. He is a sixth in the Fourth Republic of Ghana. We've had about 9 or 8 presidents, including ceremonial ones, and 2 prime ministers in this particular country after Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. But as we speak, we have the 6th for the Fourth Republic in the person of John Dramani Mahama. He's been there, done that. He's been an MP, vice president. He's been a minister. He's been a president before, and he's a president again today.
Yeah. Well, it's been quite an event. We're so glad that you stayed with us for it. A great way to wrap things up is to remind you of the thoughts that were shared by the new president, John Dramani Mahama, when he called for a reset of mindset. He talked about the contract between himself and the people of Ghana. He said the reset needs faith. So while he works to reset the nation, he calls on people of Ghana for their faith. Faith in citizens, faith in institutions. And he says ultimately, for this to work, we must remember our role in it. He ends with the words, "You are Ghana."
We need to capture this moment where the national anthem shall be played as he stands on the presidential days.
Anthem and the 21 gun salute, as mentioned earlier. All uniform personnel are to salute. The parade commander is marching to ask permission for the inspection of the parade.
Presidential inauguration ceremony, guard of honor comes up. Guard mounted by the Ghana Navy. 396 bank and file with the Ghana Navy regimental band in attendance, ready for inspection. Lieutenant Ghana Navy, Kenneth Opoku, report Your Excellency. Aye, Your Excellency.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this morning we have the Navy Regimental Band on parade. It's under the command of Sub Lieutenant Doris Iboni.
Your Excellency, inspection over. May I have your permission to march off the guard? Aye, Your Excellency.
Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of the inauguration of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces and the Vice President, Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman. Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, let's all remain seated as the President takes leave of us. Shall we please be upstanding for the national anthem? All uniformed personnel are entreated to salute. Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, let's all remain seated as the President takes leave of us. Please be seated. After the President leaves, the Vice President will also depart. After the Vice President, followed by the Speaker of Parliament and the Chief Justice, her ladyship.
John Dramani Mahama taking office as the 6th President of the 4th Republic of Ghana. Beautiful scenes there. We have a team at the Independence Square, also known as the Black Star Square. Omari Sanda, Amadou Frema, Edunyame, and Samiri Afe. Let's throw it over to them. They'll do a wrap of the ceremony, and then we'll come back into the studio for a conversation.
Right, so for a journey that began on 7th December 2024 has finally come to an end, and today, 7th January 2025, Ghana has a new president in the person of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. This is a man who has been and he has come back. It's been a very colorful and beautiful event, very smooth, bringing together a tall list of presidents. And
different, we must say, very different in terms of organization and coordination amongst others. And the President of the Republic and his vice departs the square.
In fact, it's been a memorable day. The ceremony, the styles, the salutes, the symbols, all of these things have come together to make a colorful, picturesque, and absolutely officious event, demonstrating the beginning of a new era. Today, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo goes home, once again a regular citizen, with the responsibilities of state taken off his shoulder, placed onto the experienced shoulders of the next President of the Republic of Ghana. John Dramani Mahama has taken over the baton, and as a nation, we have no choice but to cheer him on, because his success means our success. Of course, you can rely on us in the media, the Fourth Estate, to play our role and continue to keep our eyes open and watch for you as we continue to play our role as the watchdogs of society and ensure that the promises made to you are fulfilled. We'll continue this for the next 4 years, diligently and faithfully as we have done up until now. But we are so grateful to you for staying with us for this important day. And as the curtains are drawn on this event, we say once again a thank you for your company. And as the procession makes its way away from the Black Star Square, making its way around the Independence roundabout, the president's vehicle still under the guard of the horsemen and women who are keeping very close tabs on the vehicle as it rejoins the procession. You can see from the aerial shots here, the very well-trained horsemen and women are making their way away from the procession so that the vehicle can rejoin the dispatch team that will then take it to its destination. You can see the serene images of the drone as it shows you how things are coming to a conclusion at the Black Star Square. All the dignitaries now patiently waiting for their vehicles to pick them up in turn. The protocol team working overtime to ensure that this thing happens like clockwork, in order, so that these visiting dignitaries are not made to sit around and wait in the sun longer than they have to. It's a very well-oiled machine that we're seeing at work at the Black Star Square today.
And it was almost like an AU conference today, or is it? Yes, or a UN conference, I should say, because we had representatives from almost every country, at least in Africa. We are still trying to figure out which country in Africa was not represented today at the Black Star Square. And we've had a number of them all coming through, from presidents, vice presidents, prime ministers, envoys, ministers, amongst others, all making their way to be part of this historic moment with our special guest of honor, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu. They're sending us well wishes and making the promise of Nigeria being with us all the way through it. At least they are brothers in everything, but we win the fight. We win all the competitions when it comes to food, to football, amongst others. But of course, they remain our key brothers and partners in all this. And he talks about how we are the Black Star and how we keep rising and rising. And this is another day that we've shown that indeed we are the Black Star that keep rising. And there's a call for unity. There's a call for inclusivity. There's a call for accountability. And of course, there's a call for innovation and hard work. And to the business community, the president of the Republic of Ghana says that Ghana is open for business again. And we can see MPs, all the dignitaries now making their way out of the Black Star Square, and we're told that there are other events that are lined up for today as part of the celebration of the inauguration of President John Dramani Mahama. I almost lived there, you know. Yeah, I will get used to it. And he's made that comeback in style. And the Nyamidia, the Sankofa, the Jinyame, and the Drinemin being his guide. I think I would like to go on the ground and interact with our colleagues who are on the ground. They've been interacting with the dignitaries, they've been interacting with party supporters at the Black Star Square. Presidential Affairs Correspondent and Maxwell Agbagba is on the ground. He will join us shortly to get some reactions on the ground as to how this event actually went and what the impressions are of those who attended, amongst others. And then also my colleague James Aveji and of course the digital team are all on the ground. Kweku Asante, Parliamentary Affairs Correspondent, also on the ground for us, all covering all the angles for us to let us know what people are saying and how people are reacting. And of course, Kweku Asante is currently interacting with the former Minority Leader of Parliament, Haruna Idrissa. Let's catch it. Correspondent will be bringing us that interview shortly, and we've been bringing you all the angles, the coverage of this inauguration and swearing in of President John Dramani Mahama, and we've had all the dignitaries pay their homage to him after that swearing in. And you've been talking about the children. Well, we'll talk about it. Let's get to the grounds now for that reaction.
constitutional, administrative and legal reforms in order to strengthen Ghana's institution, and he's given fidelity to his promise to run a 24-hour economy. I should think that he should grant some strategic incentives to some major industrialists into the manufacturing sector who can employ 1,000 to 2,000 people, whether in Ashanti or Bono or Northern Region or Upper West. Then they can give life to the public sector reforms that will respond to that need. I'm encouraged by his own word that he does not take the votes of Ghanaians for granted, and he says that he shared this platform before and he would want to be remembered for doing something different. Parliament is currently sitting here. Ordinarily, where you are granting this interview is wrong, because this Parliament sitting, we are still following proceedings as the Speaker directs them. So this would be our prayer, and Ghanaians should pray for a John Mahama success, as his success will reflect an improvement in the quality of life of the Ghanaian. My pleasure.
Haruna Idrisu, the MP for Tamale South, Ablekuma South MP also seated here. Thank you very much for all of you who come in, and a lot more honorable members of Parliament. This man is said to be the person who may be the next majority leader, although things are not yet firmed up yet. Honorable Mahama Yarga is here. Honorable Mahama Yarga, live on Joy News. John Dramani Mahama has made a commitment to turn the tides, the fortunes of the people. Do you believe, with all the goodwill that have been massed, John Mahama is up to task to deliver on this mandate?
Well, I mean, the verdict of Ghanaians is that he is the one who can do it. The overwhelming votes that he has received is testimony to that. So let's all support him. We believe that with this level of goodwill shown by our fellow African leaders and the international community and the business community, we should be seeing an outpouring of investments into Ghana. And you see that his speech focused on positioning Ghana as a reliable democratic country that you can invest in. That essentially is the theme of the message that he has just given, that Ghana is a reliable democratic country that you can invest in because our democracy has been tried and tested and proven to endure and can stand any challenge. And with that, investors know that whether there's a change of government or there's no change of government, their investments are going to be secure. Then the next key thing that he said is that he's going to focus on stabilizing the microeconomic framework. And that will have an impact on the stability of the dollar, on inflation coming down, and then private business can pick up. So we believe that if all these things really happen as we have promised, we will change the fortunes of the people of Ghana.
You'll be shepherding this through the House for him on his behalf. Your name has come up quite strongly as a person who will be the next majority leader. What are you saying to that?
Wait till it happens.
Thank you very much. Honorable Mahama Yarga, they're telling me about the key themes that John Dramani Mahama has spoken about. I'll speak to more and more members of Parliament who are all here. You see the mention. Honorable Kofi Adams is here. Mention. Well, Avenya Magin said you tell him Mensuro, and I'll come to you pretty shortly. But Chief Whip, you've heard the president speak, and he has outlined what his main focus is going to be. Do you recognize also the tough task that is ahead for him to be able to turn the tide and get things running?
Well, I mean, the president is has promised to be frontally frank with Ghanaians. And he has already started demonstrating that. I'm sitting here with my colleague, Honorable Jinapo, who is our lead person on energy. You and I know that he kept warning that what we are doing is piling up a lot of challenges there. So maybe when you finish talking to me, you can talk to him. I believe the challenges of our country are not hidden to anybody. The economy is in a very bad shape. We have energy problem, which we are just managing. Unemployment, infrastructure is very dilapidated. But what we promise is to do whatever we can, whatever is possible, to make sure that we address the needs of the people, especially to create jobs and to create hope for young people. That is what is promised. So as the days come, he will outline the major anchor policies to back those things that he's so passionately, talking about. Yes.
And John Jinapo, recently you have been quoted in the media saying that the energy sector is going to be the biggest challenge for John Dramani Mahama. John Mahama himself has spoken and talked about $3.5 billion in debt. That is an uphill task. Some would say that perhaps the country is going to go into doom so right upon the entry of John Dramani Mahama. What are the assurances that you are going to deal with the energy sector situation?
Well, then I have bad news for you. Just today, the confirmation we are getting is that we have only 5 hours of fuel stock. If you look at heavy fuel oil and distillate fuel, we don't have up to 2 days. And so in 2 days' time, we are likely to run out of fuel. This administration has not ordered any fuel as we speak. And it takes on average 4 weeks for the fuel to arrive and 4 weeks for the fuel to be treated. And so we are in a very serious situation. At the transition, we brought this up. The outgoing administration assured us that they had procured some parcels of fuel. Today, right after President Mahama assumed office, and I served on the transition, my checks indicate that we do not have fuel that can cater for even 2 days. So clearly we have a major problem. And this is an incoming administration. Even if you order the fuel, like I'm telling you, it will take about 8 weeks. So we are in for real trouble.
Thank you very much, John Jinapo. Let me talk to the deputy whips, Menshro, and then I'll come to Honorable Doyo Kujo. Menshro, your both have spoken. Let me talk to Honorable Doyo Kujo. I mean, gender is very particular for you, and you've spoken about it. Nana Jeno Pokwajiman has taken the mantle of leadership. What do you think it signifies for women leadership in Ghana?
In fact, today is the most happiest day in my life. In fact, John Dramani Mahama has made me proud. Very, very proud. And the way he has started, I know God is going to help him to sail through and is going to deliver on his promises. Jane in the kitchen to support His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. They are going to do excellent work, and Ghanaians will be happy because the joy that has filled my heart and the belief that I have gotten that this pair can deliver Ghana and reset Ghana is extraordinary. So we thank God for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's life, and he should keep it up. He should continue to blend the whole governance. Now he has already garnished the presidency with a woman. So he should continue with all the steps that he will take. And I know the women will make difference because wherever there is a man and a woman and there is a work going on, check how many times the man will go and come. But if the woman sits and is working till the woman finishes, he will stop moving. So I know the women will do the difference and we will see a different Ghana this time.
Thank you very much, Honorable Doyo Kujo, who is very particular about that. And then now I have the 2 deputy speakers. When it comes to Parliament and the lawmaking process, these 2 are almost always involved. There is Bernard Ahiafo, always moving the motions, and there's always Honorable Andrew Amakwesiama, who is usually presiding over the House when the lawmaking process is ongoing. And the 2 of them are going to help Alban Bagwin steer the 9th Parliament. Let me start with Honorable Andrew Amakwesiama. Congratulations on your election as second deputy speaker.
Thank you so much, my brother.
So you've heard the president-elect. Obviously, you are in the minority. And your side have said you will hold the government's feet to the fire, but certainly you are not going to be obstructionists as some have suggested.
Not at all. One of the main functions of Parliament everywhere in the world is to play the role of oversight. So if the minority is playing that role, it's the good of the country. So I don't think anything that we are doing for the good of the country, I think we have to do. We are not going to necessarily obstruct government business, not at all. And for me, that is not my business. We are all looking for the good of Ghana. So anything that will project Ghana, make Ghana look good, and make all the citizenry see the development we are all looking for, we are all for it. Yes.
Speaker, now let me talk to the newly minted first deputy speaker. You are always doing the I move for amendments and other things. Now you're going to be in the chair usually when some of these things are done. And as the tradition has also been, you are perhaps going to chair the appointment committee. I've read a bit of the standing orders that said it will be chaired by the opposing party. And I don't know the dynamics that are going to come. But how prepared are you, those of you in the majority, to spearhead John Dramani Mahama's agenda, those ones that will come to Parliament, particularly confirming his ministers, so that all of them can get to work as soon as practicable?
Well, thank you very much. As the First Deputy Speaker, my responsibility is to support the Speaker and work with him very diligently and reliably to steer the affairs of the House very dispassionately. So that is exactly what I am going to do as the First Deputy Speaker.
They had also said that they've described the NP minority as micro-minority. But you are promising that you're going to treat them fairly, always. And I know you're a fair man, always in the House. You try to reach out to your colleagues on the other side. There's going to be fairness in the House when you are presiding.
I believe the description cannot be tied to the fact that they will not be treated fairly. The description was as a result of the number. NDC having absolute majority as against the number that they have, very unprecedented. That is what called for their description as micro-minority. But that has nothing to do with the treatment of fairness or unfairness in the House. As a Deputy Speaker, I look forward to treating everybody fairly as a Member of Parliament.
He'll be on PM Express pretty shortly. We'll confirm the details. Honorable President, Honorable Vondi, and then Honorable Dr. Dominic Ayene. Yes. Your name is in the running for office of the Attorney General. I'm not going to talk about that with you, but you've listened to the President, actually. Yeah. He has spoken about his agenda to develop the country. He has the goodwill. You see the number of African leaders and international leaders who are all here. How do you think that those of you in the NDC are going to support him and his message to transform the country?
Well, I believe that their presence here is a testament to their commitment to his cause. Of course, having been, the president of this country before, and then having established in the past relationships with some of them, I believe that it's as a result of that friendship that some of them, or most of them, have come to support him. So that solidarity is there. And, we live in a global village, as they say. And I believe that with the kind of relationship that he has established with some of them, there is that goodwill, and definitely I'm sure they will assist him in realizing his ambitions and the vision that he has outlined for the people of this country.
Let me put you a bit on the spot. Justice delivery in Ghana is so crucial now to a lot of people. Currently, protesters against illegal mining are standing trial. John Dramani had promised that as soon as he takes office, he will instruct whoever will be the Attorney General to file nolli prosequi in some of those. Recently, there's also been a letter from the outgone president to the Council of State. We have no confirmation yet about pardons and all that. About pardons for some people, of course, that's his prerogative. But how fair do you think the justice system is going to be under John Dramani Mahama?
Well, definitely, he has promised that he will appoint a minister of justice who will be fair and even-handed, in running the affairs of the justice sector of our country. And I believe that he's committed to that. You recall that in the course of his presidency, he did very well in, assuring that the judiciary remain independent. Okay, the independence of the judiciary is crucial in the administration of justice. And so I believe that when he has now taken over the reins, of governance, he will commit himself to respecting first the independence of the judiciary. Secondly, making sure that the judiciary is well resourced in order to deliver justice. All right, and then also ensuring that he's not packing the courts with partisan hacks, who will deliver justice on the basis of partisanship, but on the basis of the fairness and merits of the cases that come before them. That is what I think a John Mahama-led, Minister of Justice, will deliver for this country.
And talking about justice delivery, this is the man John Dramani Mahama has picked to lead his oral team. You heard your colleague, the minority leader, tear into that, describing it as unconstitutional, needless, and that those of you on the committee are just filled with a drive on personal vendetta. You haven't responded to that yet. What do you make of that from the minority leader?
Well, first of all, let me say that the historic nature of today's occasion should not be lost on us. It's a surreal feeling. It's really a very, very proud moment to be a Ghanaian. We have today made history. For the first time in the history of our country, we have inaugurated a former president and someone who is so experienced, so well versed, so steeped in the governance of our country. So you can expect that there will be no experiment, there will be no, if you like, try and error. This is a president who you can have confidence that from day one he will hit the ground running. Then we have also, for those of us who have young daughters, made history today. We have the first Vice President of the Republic of Ghana inaugurated today. And I am so proud that she...
And that was enough Tongue MP, Samuel Okudzeto Blackwater, the man who's leading the oral team. They're interacting with Kweku Asante, and the internet is just giving up on us. But of course, Kweku is getting reactions from the Black Star Square. It's a parliamentary sitting, I must say. It's been adjourned till tomorrow after the swearing in or the inauguration of President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama. We'll get more reactions. I know that's what you want. We'll definitely bring that to you and bring you more reactions from the ground as they make their way out of the Black Star Square for the other events to actually herald the inauguration of the President of the Republic of Ghana. And I've been talking about the fact that there have already been some appointments that have been made already. They have a 120-day social contract, and they've told us that right after this particular inauguration, they are hitting the ground running. A lot is going to happen in terms of the first 120 days. They say there will be no honeymoon for the incoming president, or the President of the Republic of Ghana, who has now been sworn in today. I'll go through the social contract that the NDC has put out, or the government says they are going to be implementing. And already there have been some appointments that have been made already. We know the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra. We also know the man that will be in charge of the 24-hour economy, Guzi Tano. And there's Marietta Brew, who is supposed to be the legal advisor to the President of the Republic of Ghana. We know the Executive Secretary of the President, Dr. Callistus Mahama. Then I've talked about the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, Callistus Mahama, Executive Secretary to the President. The acting spokesperson to the President is Felix Kwachiofosu, and I'm sure that in the next few minutes we'll be able to interact with him also to find out, now that inauguration is over, do we wait a day or two to hit the ground running with this 120-day social contract? And the very first social contract that the NDC said they were going to execute is the 14 days to complete the list of cabinet ministers and send it for parliamentary approval. That's the 120-day social contract that they have. Within the next 14 days, we are told we should have a complete list of cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval. Parliament is in place. The 9th Parliament, we know the leadership for the majority side says as they have it as the minority, even though you heard Kweku interact with Mahama Yariga, that has been named as the potential majority leader. And that is because of the speculations already rife that the finance minister will be Kasil Atuforsen, Dr. Kasil Atuforsen, who is now the majority leader. Substantively, we are told that the entire minority leader that we had it in the 8th Parliament remains as the majority leadership, and governs Kwame Agbuja there interacted a while ago with Kweku Asante on this. So when are we going to get the complete list? We are told it should happen in the next 14 days. And then we are supposed to have, in the next 120 days also, the National Economic Dialogue. We are expected to have a National Economic Dialogue according to the 120-day social contract that was put out. and then a code of conduct and standards for all government officials is part of the 120-day social contract that they've put out. And then in 90 days, which was a key government or the key campaign promise for the NDC, they are to scrap the e-levy, they are to scrap the COVID levy, they are to scrap the 10% betting tax, and then the emissions levy. And you saw a lot of twerking on your screen, and I could hear the A in the background from the production team. And I think it's a good time to take you back there and to interact with the people on the ground. It's all about the people, and we want to hear more from the people. It looks like action is far from over at the Black Star Square. All the party is happening there at the Black Star Square as we speak. And Parliamentary Affairs correspondent is there, a lot of drumming and dancing. Let me take you there live and get all the action on the ground so we do not miss it.